in preparation for taking the engine to the machine shop to get the cylinders honed, I'm going to take out all the other stuff, that is anything that is can be taken off from the engine block, because I'm pretty sure that they'll need just the clear engine block to work on. So first thing I'm going to do is start on the hydraulic pump, and it is secured here by a few bolts, looks like 1, 2, and maybe 3 or 4. So we're going to remove them and take the pump out, and I think all of these hoses are already free and clear, so we'll start there. Okay, to remove the pulley is a bit of a trick, and I'm only able to do it because I have this special tool for holding one of the other pulleys. Now I'm forgetting which exactly, which we used earlier. So what I do is put those 2 prongs in here, and I've put this long hex bit that we fashioned into the tensioner pulley slot hole there, and see if we can get it in there, and then we'll let it rest up against that, and then voila, we can remove these bolts, which otherwise would have been quite difficult. One of those screws is rounded out. Great. Someone has tried to remove this without success. Okay, we're lucky it came out. The rounding wasn't too clear. I think the pulley will just come off. There you go. So now we can take off the pump quite easily, which is what I'm going to do. I'm now going to remove the other bolt screws, which are over here, which mount the pump to the cylinder block. Hopefully the whole assembly will just come out. 1, 2, and I believe here's 1 more. This is it, yes. It does feel like the last one. Okay, this one's longer than the others, so 2 are exactly the same size and 1 is longer. The one on this far side is longer, okay? And I think we can just take this out. Yep. So I'm going to remove that drift that I had in there for removing the timing belt, I guess, this tensioner. So I'm going to the other way. Yep. Okay, the next step is to remove the turbocharger assembly. Okay, the plan is, now there's an Oetiker clamp here, which you may be able to see. If I take this out of the way, we'll see. So I'll take this out. There's a hose. Well, it'll pull out, and then I can access this, let's see, coolant line, I guess. Yes, it looks like a coolant line. To the turbocharger from the block end, because this is essentially inaccessible. I cannot get to it. I cannot loosen it. It seems very difficult. So that's what I'm going to do, and then there are 2 smaller oil lines which I'm going to disconnect here and let's see here. Oh, right. So there's this, I guess this is the wastegate. There's some kind of lever here. I think that is the wastegate, in fact. 1 screw holding it there, I believe, and that will come out, and then we'll go from there. So there are 2 hex bolts here holding this thing to the, I guess this is the coolant feed into the, wherever the water passages, coolant passages there. So I can access those guys, so let's see if we can do that. Now this is a 6mm again. Okay, one's out. The other is also accessible, but may need an extension or not. Does this come off? Of course it doesn't. Is there something else holding it there? Who can say? Damn it. The bolt is out. And they're symmetric, both sides the same, and I'm not sure that helped us at all. Okay, so I'm now, having actually failed to get clearance to remove that bolt, what I'm going to do is just cut off this hose, and then we can, anyway the hose ought to be cheap to replace, we'll just take it off. Probably in very bad shape anyway, and of course now we'll be fine. Oh, that's stupid. All I have to do was lift that thing. So this thing is actually free enough that I can lift the whole thing and get clearance for that socket. Should have the perfect thing for this, a 17mm ratcheting wrench, which ought to be perfect for this once I can get it in there. Let's see, this leather tightening, that's the loosening side, yep. So I get it in there somehow. Ought to be possible. Yep. Yep. Oh, having the right tool. It's coming out. There you go. There, finally, got that out. So I'm calling these guys there's a coolant junction here. Wait, this is not coolant. Is it coolant? There's oil there. Maybe these are oil lines too. Anyway, whatever this is, it sure looks like oil. So these two bolts, which I removed because I thought I'd need to, or maybe I still do need to. So this comes adrift. Now I have two small screws here and one more of these lines to detach. So it's hanging by one line now. I better remove, better be careful there. And here's the banjo bolt that goes on this junction here, which you won't, the camera angle probably doesn't let you see. It goes on this guy here, through this and that way. So I'll wiggle this and put them aside just a bit. Here, these small guys, 10mm, and here's a 13, I believe. This one for sure is an oil line. It's tiny. So there are so many lines in here. I have no idea what they are. So this is loose now. And it has a buddy which is 10mm. Which holds what I think is the wastegate in place. Is it really the wastegate? Okay, I don't know. An extension. I have a feeling that's held there. Maybe this comes apart with the turbocharger. Hang on. I don't think I need to remove that at all. Because, yes, that's right, I do not need to remove that. I just need to remove now this one guy, which is, the whole thing is held there by one guy, I think. Yeah, this is free. Oh, so there's one more here. One more 10mm down here, holding this oil coolant, whatever it is like. So that's on the turbo itself. Now it's free. Now there ought to be exactly one thing. That is this entire turbocharger has assembly is held there. Okay, I put this little screw which I detached at the bottom, which is holding this line to the turbo. I put the screw back in so that I wouldn't lose it. I still have, let's see here, these two bolts which go on top, and this one banjo bolt which goes on that guy over there. So it's not easy to put that back in right now, so I'm going to leave it out. So I'm not sure what happened there, but my video stopped videotaping, my camera stopped videotaping for a while. So I got the turbocharger assembly out. Here it is. Turns out the wastegate does not have to be detached. I put the screws back on. I think I'm going to tighten them really. So I'm going to tighten those. But I did have to destroy one more hose because it was hanging by this one last hose, and with no one to assist, I had to cut it off because I didn't realize that it was hanging by that. It wouldn't have been that difficult to separate. On the other hand, the hose doesn't look that great, so possibly it's a tiny little hose. Unfortunately, it's actually part of an assembly, hose assembly here. So that might be an OEM only thing. We'll have to see. So at any rate, it's out. There are two gaskets that fell out here. So one of these is this fellow. This guy. I think he goes here. There. There. I don't think you can see that. So this is that gasket over there. And one more gasket, which looks like it belongs to one of our banjo bolts. Now, it's kind of hard to tell which. This probably this guy. This one that goes over there. Okay. So I'm guessing that this gasket, I can see it actually there. Oh, yeah. No, wait. There is one gasket here. Is there a gasket on both sides? Yes, there is. So this banjo bolt goes in here. On top of the engine here, there's a junction with one line going out to each of the turbochargers. The other one is actually intact. We didn't have to take it out for some reason. This one's still here. I'm going to label it and put it aside. Next order of business, I'm going to remove the motor mounts. The motor mount, the other side's already off. Wait, so
This is, I guess, there are 2 halves to this. So I'll remove this one. Pretty big X bits. I think the biggest, and my fuse are fancy. This guy. So I think there are 4 removed. So all this in service of taking this to the machine shop. Okay, number 4. The device is visible. Make sure it's nothing to it. Except that this bit is now too long for number 4. I guess I'll short a bit. Oh wait. This and then we'll be able to take it out. So those are screws that keep sketching. It's loose, then it catches again. I have 30mm ratchet, which would be perfect for this. Easy to get. 30mm ratchet wrench. This thing's ratchet button. Wait. Yeah, wait, okay, there we go. This is one end of the motor mark. So this is the bracket that I intended to remove here. That's cool. I'll just attach to both sorts of things. Okay, these are the 4 that hold the motor mount brackets to the block. Let's see that I have these 2 guys. I thought I just put those, the top coolant ports. These are, just took these out, but I can't remember where. God, forgetfulness, forgetfulness. So this was there were 4. And okay. Okay, these I do not remember where they belong. These are the motor marking bracket bolts. Okay, now I'm going to remove the alternator, which ought to be simple, but you never know. So one big hex bolt here, 1, 2, and that's it. That's what I think. So let's get this guy first. White touch. One bolt from the alternator, 13mm. Right there, it was 13, looks like it. That's right. It's actually, it looks like it's a new one. No, I don't know when they place it. Okay, set it down here. It's connected to the wires, which I have to remove. I can figure out how. Everything is connected to everything else here.
most of it is held with just a couple of things here. I don't even know what this is. Looks like a wire. I'm going to remove it and held together by pretty hefty screws here. The big hex kind. Actually, let me put these away first. Alternative screws. Okay, so those, the screw and that screw are on either side. I'm going to remove them. So this is all more or less, you know, indiscriminate removal, because to get everything off the block, take it to the machine shop. This looks like some kind of running wire. So zip tie here, nothing fancy. Let's go get the cutters. So cut the zip tie. And here this comes. Taking the tie off for the same thing. More zip tie cutting. Ripping close to the wiring part out. Maybe it's just pipes, hoses, and goodness gracious, there's a ton of stuff in this car. I'm not sure what is holding this here up. We've got a couple of screws to the engine block, so you can't see them, but this is no big deal. Take them off. And let me put back these bolts. So I managed to yank the cord out from the camera, so we lost some video there. What happened was that I worked all this stuff out. I had to remove one screw here, and then this whole thing came out, and then I put the screw back in. So all the wiring harness and some assorted coolant pipes, all this stuff came out. So now I'm trying to figure out how to take this guy out. So I got too lazy to move the camera over to the other side. But what I did was I took a 21mm socket, 22mm socket, excuse me, and put it in there and gave it good whacks, and it did come out. So it looks like it has some kind of a rubber a gasket kind of thing around it. It's fairly, you know, it's no longer very pliable or anything. Can't imagine that this is a good thing, and I see lots of coolant crud here. So maybe this is another thing, that there's some rubber thing that you have to put on the end of this. Is actually unusual. I haven't seen anything like this. It's just hardened rubber, I think, at the end of this, and it's supposed to seal, because this rubber is pretty bad shape. So at any rate, so there it is. That's the technique for getting it out. Let's get this guy out if we can. I think so. Come on. Finally, this guy's out. All this coolant stuff, connections, let me put these away. Lots of the next screws, probably not as little as this guy. Maybe they are. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 screws of all things. So I'm going to take this out simply because this looks so dirty. Can't go for engine, right? But it's around 168,000 miles, this curve there, so probably doesn't hurt anything. But somehow I feel like I should remove it. Yeah, there are all these parts, but I'll have to remember how to sever hoses, probably. I don't know what the correct technical term for this guy is. Okay. Looks like coolant goes in there. probably just, oh wait, 10. Not, there's one more. Covered under pink crud. Oh, you got a ew. Okay. All of these guys are the same size and they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, there are 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Okay, 10. I'm going to bag these. Okay, I'm going to remove this line as well because I removed the other side. It goes to the turbocharger, I know. Driver's side turbocharger, I guess. Oop. Do not drop rings or whatever. Crush gaskets. So it does go on the other side, as I surmised. So I'm going to take this banjo bolt out, put it in a separate baggie. So I'm putting these bolts back. So those, I never bagged them, my goodness, I am being forgetful. So those are the ones that I didn't know where they went. So these are obviously the ones. So I'm not taking them back. Let's see. Those were the 6mm X, I believe. Show these guys. These two sets go out of control. I think these are just, they're not seeing anything, they're just moving force. All has to do is basically all it goes. I'm going to take this out. You know, this is going to be impossible. Let's see if I can just work it through with those. There's no space for the hooks. There you go. Sweet. I think that's it. So this is ready to take to Mr. Machine Shop.